You know, the last person to have a...
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm cutting Vlad off because he was talking when we went live.
I was just trying to give you grief, so it's probably better you cut me off.
Yeah, probably so. What's going on, everybody? Rumor has it there's a raid going on. Can anybody confirm that rumor?
Indeed.
So we got Shane, the birthday boy Hal, with us today. Everybody say happy birthday, Shane.
Happy birthday, Shane.
Thanks.
I'm not singing that crap, I'll tell you that. So
No, you don't want to hear me sing, trust me.
Good.
we got Captain Graybeard there, Vlad.
Hi, everybody. I'm
And
scared of my beard's gray.
And we got Ross. I'm too sexy for my shirt, Crow.
Hey,
What's going
gray
on?
in the beard too, though.
Right. So, how's everybody's raid going at this point?
Mine, I'll go first if you want.
Sure.
Mine's going well. I don't have that much time really into it. I'm at 75 million. I just went after just the Fang Tooth Void campaign. That's the only one I'm hitting with the Fang Tooth, and I don't quite have the greatest pattern down, but I'm seem to doing it pretty well. So
Nice. I'll go second. I'm only a couple hours in. I went and visited my mother at the nursing home today, so I missed the first couple hours of the raid. But I'm at like 43 minutes, 43 million points damage. Points. Yeah, Jesus, I can't talk tonight. I'm doing the opposite of you. I'm doing just the hunter target, and it's working out pretty good. Depending on my driving, I'm getting averaging anywhere from like 37 to 58 minutes worth of damage per target. So I don't think that's too bad. Just go back, take it back in my base and split it up, and it's like 23 minutes or 12 minutes. So that's not bad. It's not bad. So how about you, lad?
Yeah, I had some things to take care of this afternoon. I only had a chance to do one each of the Hunter's Trophy and the Fangtooth Void, so I'm at about 11 million. I let my my Hunter's Auto in the target, and I was not really happy with the result. It was about 2 3/4 hours damage, so I'll probably start driving those. And I don't even want to talk about Fangtooth Void. That was just a debacle.
Well, yeah, it helps if you remember which fleet you're driving that doesn't have countermeasures.
Yeah, that was part of the issue. After last raid where I pretty much used the Hunter exclusively, and of course Hunters have the countermeasures on them, so you pretty much ignore the mortars. And yeah, no, that doesn't work very good with Fangtooth. All of a sudden I look up and have my fleets going. I'm like, the hell's going on? Oh yeah. No countermeasures. Drive that fleet, dumbass.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I
expect to do better in the next iteration.
So, Shane, have you gotten a chance to hit any targets yet, or you've been too busy with your birthday libations?
Yeah. Stayed up a little late last night, so I slept in today. No, I haven't hit anything yet. I got just enough time to get your message for the show today.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. I guess we'll start doing slides and see what's going on there. Let me get these set up here quickly. Episode 20, December 14th, 2017. That's today. How about that? First, Vlad, talk about the weapon.
Yeah, all of the weapon build time from tier 1 through tier 6 have been reduced. According to what Kickside released, they've been reduced by as much as half or maybe more. And we can look forward to that going forward. The issue I have with all this is they're going to start bringing out tier 7 hulls and probably tier 7 weapons directly, so I don't know how much this is going to help.
There's still a lot of stuff though that that falls within these tiers that you'll still be using. Like siege batteries and siege targetings and that kind of
Those
stuff.
are not those are not weapons. Those are specials. There's only weapons have had their time.
You're right. They didn't do specials. They just did weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's probably some weapons that'll still come into play though.
Well, I hope so. I mean, you look at the, we're using the Skyfire quite a bit. The Banded Hornet is a tier 6 weapon, so if you haven't got your Skyfires done or you want to refit, that'll be nice. With the we were just talking about the Hunter, the Wolf's Tooth is a tier 6, and the Hound's Tooth is also tier 6, so those should have come down just in time for those of you who refit for this raid. Good thing you spent all that time waiting for those to go. And we look at our icebreakers, and the icebreakers, your Siege Rocket D100V is also tier 6. So the existing weapons, if you haven't finished those fleets or you didn't bother with the escalation weapon, you probably are going to see a nice return. The question obviously is going to be whether or not it's worth refitting those tier 6 weapons or just waiting for the tier 7s to come out.
I know personally for myself on my defender hulls too, I like a lot of them. I usually throw at least 1 or 2 lockdown rockets on, so I'll see a nice little build time reduction for those.
Cuttlefish says he's building his stud ones, so.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
so yeah, apparently pretty much all the research stuff now is like instant build, pretty much like 30 seconds. So for the little low level guys, more than us, for the lower to mid level guys, this is like going to be a godsend for them.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. It's great.
Well, I like to see that these weapons and stuff, and apparently the hulls maybe the build time's coming down for the little guys, but the flip side of that is the little guys turn into medium-sized guys so quickly now. You can go from level 1 to level 50 so fast that you really don't have a feel for what's going on, and then you're at level 50, you're in the deep end of the pool.
That's the good thing about them lowering the times on these weapons, though. At least it gives them more freedom to not waste so much shipyard time and get these builds figured out where they do work for them.
Yeah, and I don't know that too many level 50s are in the deep end of the pool because, they're level 50 and other people can hit them, but when it comes to PvE play, they're definitely not like, okay, I'm ready to rock the tier 7 stuff, so they're still in the lower end of the pool when it comes to that, in my opinion.
I think it'll help them out, and it just makes it not so penalty-wise on their shipyard time when they make the beginner mistakes that we all made,
Yeah, for them not to be married to their mistakes like we had to be is going to be in itself like the huge.
I think it's really going to help them out, So, anything to help out those guys coming up, I'm all.
Yep, we're getting our second round of weekly holiday rewards.
Yeah, these are kind of neat. I mean, you just got to make sure that you claim the lowest chest in the FM the week before, and you'll get these prizes the next week. Apparently, we got the skirmish repair for this week from last week's FM.
Right.
I think next time they're supposed to be giving us a VXP token for an ironclad.
Oh yeah, VXP token for ironclads, and you get that just by claiming any prize in this raid.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The ironclads.
Any prize this raid?
Yeah, that's the way I read it.
From the bottom chest for the weekend.
It says no. That was last week's. This one says redeem any prize in December event.
Oh, okay.
Starting Thursday, and then next Thursday you'll get your ironclad VXP token.
And then next week they'll do it again for the FM, I guess.
Probably. Because there's going to be no way to claim an FM prize this week with the raid running 6 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My issue with this is the Ironclad is not the most up-to-date and current hull they could have selected to give us VXP tokens. Now, it still has a pretty important use in that you can go with Ironclads, you can auto the dubs if that's the way you choose to get your uranium. I just hope this doesn't indicate that somebody, some game producer somewhere thinks the Ironclad is going to be appropriate for the next raid cycle.
No, I don't think that's what it is at all. It's like I even said on one of the pages the other day, it's like, you know, for me in particular, it's not really such a great thing to be about me. Not everything has to be about the guys of our level. You know, this is, I think, not the greatest thing they could have gave a mid-level player, but it's something that, you know, and I try to look at least they're giving something out, you know, like for the past few years, they wouldn't get dick. So the fact that they're giving something out is better than what they've done the past few years.
Yeah, well, if you go back to, what was it, 2013 or was it 2014, we all got 100 coins. That would have been nice.
Oh my God, dude. It was like 6 years ago. Get over it. Get over it, man.
Somebody would have been disappointed if one of us didn't bring up the 100 coin prize. Come on now, you know that.
I think it should be a thing. Whoever brings up the 100 coin Christmas gift that happened 5 years ago should then be responsible for giving every other player in the game 100 coins.
Yeah, you can make that rule going forward, but I'm not in no ex post facto here.
All right. Well, everybody remember that. Next time those words come out of Vlad's mouth, he owes all of you 100 coins. I'm sure nobody will let you forget that now.
Learn how to break into Kickside and hit that button that gives everybody 100 coins. That way it don't cost me nothing.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, we got a raid going on.
So, yeah, we got a Fall of the Wall. So the event started today, December 14th at 9 a.m. and it ends Wednesday, December 20th at 9 a.m. also. And
so, don't forget to stagger your world on that, and that time is in Eastern.
That's correct. That is correct.
That time's Kickside time, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Noon Eastern. My bad.
Yeah.
Noon Eastern.
Yeah, that's in Pacific time.
No, let's see. Well, I started 11 Central. Mine 11 Central is what I know.
So, does anybody else keep thinking of Pink Floyd's another brick in the wall every time we have this Fall of the Wall name come up?
Yeah, no, I don't give that. You got to give them way too much credit to include Pink Floyd and Kickside in the same sentence.
Oh, well, why? Because I mean, they were doing Rush albums like 2 raids ago, so.
No, I tend to actually like this one better than the fat cartoon character with his stomach hanging out.
Yeah, right.
You know, in all honesty, so I'm good with this. Yeah. But Fall of the Wall, yeah.
All right. Target wise, we got the tier 6. There's 3 targets: 81, 83, 85. Recommended for Fang Tooths and Hunters. You got tier 5, previously B sets, 3 targets, the 61, 63, 65. They're for ranked tie seeker fleets. And you got tier 4, which was previously called C sets. There's 1 target, only 1. It's 45. And you got recommended Tiger Shark fleets for that. You got the level 89 Blitz fleet, recommended for Fang Tooths or Hunters. And they pay out 800,000 points, and Blitz minimum of them is 5 gold. And you got the level 69 target, recommended for fully ranked high tie seekers. And they pay out 125,000 points, and the minimum Blitz for those is 1 gold, and the hit down multiplier will apply for those. And then for the tier 7 targets, we actually have a plethora of tier 7 targets this time. Not only do we have the 2 new ones, which is Fangtooth Void and Hunter Trophy, but we also have all the old top-end previous iterations of targets. So we have Fangtooth Abyss and the Hunter's Call, and also the Fangtooth Depths and Hunter Bay. So there's quite a variety of targets to choose from this time around. Now, granted, the 2 older ones, you can only hit 3 times each. But, you know, I mean, if you were comfortable doing those targets before, that'll be an easy, you know, couple million points for you getting those done. And then, you know, the 2 new targets, I can't speak to the Fangtooth one, but as I said, I found the 100 one to not be that bad. Tier 4, your 45, your level 45 target will give you 40,000 with a tier bonus of 20,000. Tier 5, you're looking at 130,000, 190,000, and 280,000 for their respective targets, with a tier bonus of 400,000. Tier 6, the 81 is paying 500K, the 83 is 600K, the 85 is 750K, with a tier bonus of 1,650,000. And then for your tier 7 targets, you'll get, for the Fangtooth Void, upon completion, 5 million points is actually a lie. You actually get 4,980,000 or some crazy number, because you always lose points for some reason. But yeah, 5 million for each of those targets, and if you do both of them, you'll get a completion bonus of 2 million points. And for the older targets, you will get 5 million for each target with no set completion bonus.
Having done both of the new Tier 7 targets, I will tell you that there is some infighting. There's 2 separate factions in the target, and they do they kill each other off, not much, but a little bit. And for every hull that the factor kills off at the enemy, it's 1 less hull for you to gain points on. I think there's 5 million points total in the target if you could figure out some way to kill everything without the factions killing off the other side. But there's no way to do it that way. I ended up, like I said, I was at, let's see, it was like, where my point total? Having done one of the, each the Hunter and Fangtooth, I ended up with 11,778, 557. So I lost about 225,000 points to fratricide.
Well,
there was a word that you probably haven't heard on the show before. Fratricide.
In these targets, their own weapons hurt their own ships before anyway, which took points away from you to begin with in the earlier iterations of this raid style as well.
Right. And quite honestly, myself, I'm not worried about losing 100,000 points here and 100,000 points there. If it helps me take less damage and get to that target completion bonus of 2.5 million quicker, I'm okay with that.
Unless you plan on using the Blitz feature, and the Blitz targets have it, and I haven't tried any of the Blitz targets, so I don't know. It's really not going to matter. I mean, if you're in a Blitz target, losing the 50,000 points off of 800,000 becomes significant if you're going to Blitz 100 times. But just to lose it in there, I think you're absolutely right that you're taking less damage overall. So in the big scheme of things, you're better off that way.
I think the only time it'll annoy me is like when I go to redeem King's Writs, which are 5 million points apiece, and I'll do this target and I'll be at like 4,980,000. I'll be, God damn it, I got to go get something else to get that extra. So I think that's the only time that I'll be a little bit annoyed by it. But, of course, uranium. Let's talk about uranium for a little bit. We got our average terrible payout, your 800, 1,500, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 benchmarks. And then they took away the Man of Wars for this raid.
Oh, good grief.
There will be no Man of Wars out this raid. But, however, you can use raid points to buy uranium, and you can buy 10,000 uranium 5 times. What the hell is that gonna get me? I can't even do one single retrofit for 50,000 uranium. You can't roll one. You can't roll one single good crew out of 50,000 uranium.
No, you won't even get to one before you hit 100 grand.
Yeah, they're normally Man of Wars don't come out until Saturday. They have time to totally rethink this whole thing and be like, you know, it was a really bad idea. We're going to still put the Man of Wars out on Saturday. And I really, really, really hope that they do that.
Well, I mean, straight up, I'm not going to spend raid points on buying freaking uranium. That's just ignorant. I'm in this raid to get product, not res or the resources we use.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not spending that much points. How much does it come out in the end for 50,000 worth of res? That's stupid. How many items do they got in there for 1,000,000 points that those people would rather be getting all of those items, say in the PvP weapons list and stuff, 1,000,000 points, 500,000 points. They should spend all of that fucking points getting 2 pages of stuff rather than getting a dick amount of 50,000 uranium. That is ignorant.
Don't sugarcoat it. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you drop a few more curse words in that sentence for us?
I mean, it's just totally asinine. I mean,
you know,
totally what it is.
I'm kind of, for the moment anyway, I'm okay with the titanium until they get like an actual titanium target on the map. I'm okay with them doing it with titanium as a stopgap until they fix it. But yeah, they've taken such a giant step backwards on this whole uranium thing, because the whole reason they brought out Man of Wars in the first place is because we told them, hey, the 50,000 or 36,000 or whatever it is that we're getting in the for your little benchmarks here, they're not enough to do anything. And you know, they finally realized, hey, you guys are right. And now, like, apparently they have forgotten that lesson somewhere along the way. And to do it on a raid, of all raids to do it on one that's a 6-day raid, that's a kick in the fucking doodads, man.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there were some, we'll call them experienced players, who were complaining about the fact that there was going to be no titanium in the raid. So, of course, instead of listening to them and just putting a titanium target in the raid, said, well, we've got to, you know, charge them for it. And if we're doing that, we can't very well do it with uranium too. So, again, give people what they ask for in a way that you know they're going to hate it. That's a really good plan on keeping your customers happy.
But anyway, I think that's enough to talk about uranium. I don't want to be on too sour of a note going forward. So we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause that. We might come back to it later. Let's start talking about the prizes. Main prizes first. Buccaneer, go.
Oh, the Buccaneer is a big old honking boat. It comes only with 15,000 armor points, but it is heavy, 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 heavy. You get a built-in ballistic range buff, a minor radioactive range debuff, buffs to both ballistic and radioactive damage, big splash buff, big building and wall buff. Obviously, all your, most of your defenses are minus 100%. It will buff radioactive and ballistic defense, though. And it's only got a minus 10% evade bonus, which means that if you wanted to use something to run the evade up, you probably could.
Let's pause for just 1 minute. I want to talk a little bit about these minus 100% defenses a little bit. You know, I mean, it's not bad enough that you're putting me in a box already with what I can do and what I can't do as far as builds and that kind of stuff. It's but when now you've not only locked me into a tiny box, but now you're shrink wrapping me, you know, because I can't take this hull into anything that does penetrating damage, anything that does concussive damage, anything that does corrosive damage, anything that does explosive damage, because with a minus 100% modifier, it's just going to melt like a hot knife through butter. I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out to everybody. You know, I mean,
well, that's kind of what they're. I think they're setting us up to these to work exactly like the Conqueror and Defender, except now instead of being limited to PvP, you're going to be limited to siege class targets, and if you so much as click on the wrong target that happens not to have a retreat button, you're just going to be SOL.
Yep. But anyway, I just wanted to point that all out. So go ahead and continue on with the blueprint.
Combat speed is 33. Turn speed is 30. There was a preview for these. I had an opportunity to play a little bit. The combat speed felt a little slow, but we'll see what happens. But here's the one that people really are going to have to take a look at. Total repair time is 3 hours and 20 minutes. That means for a fleet of 5 of them, you are looking at almost 20 hours of repair. And yes, if you use charged armors don't have any additional repair time associated with them, but you're still looking at, if you lose one of these in the raid, you're looking at 19 coins to repair it, even with half repairs.
Yeah,
it is going to hurt.
Well, I guess my advice is don't drive like a noob in the raid. I guess that's my advice.
Well,
now the Cannoneer. I mean, this is the same repair time.
Remember that just like the siege targets of yore, there's going to be something inside of this target that if you don't get it, between your 97-ish range on your cannon and the 95 range on the turret, that it will level you. Again, so it's not something. It's not a game mechanic that we're unfamiliar with. That small mistakes make, basically destroy your fleet. And I'm hoping that doesn't come back to us in the next one like it did in the last one. But just remember, if you were, a turret popped up in the wrong spot and you weren't ready for it, and it shot at you once, and 3/4 of your fleet, poof, gone.
Well, like I said, that's why my advice is don't drive like a noob.
Well, you don't have. It's not. I have to agree with don't drive like a noob, but mixing your target by 3 pixels means that you lose your entire fleet is not driving like a noob. It's the consequences for a very small error being very big, which is something that Kixeye loves and the players hate. But,
yeah. Like I said, this is the same as the Cannoneer in repair time. So, I mean, they didn't really do us one better by this hull going forward. It's pretty much the exact same thing.
Well, based on early reports, the build time is going to be just as ugly as well.
Let's just go ahead and wrap up the blueprint, because we still got like 19 pages of shit to go, and we're already halfway through.
All right. Well, then, moving right along.
So it's 40 million points. And you didn't cover you didn't cover the special abilities yet either, lads.
Oh, well, I can't see half of them. It's got a friendly field effect that gives you ballistic defense, radioactive defense, a ballistic damage buff, and something else that I can't see.
Radioactive damage buff as well.
Oh, there you go. And it has a duplicate aura cap of 5.
One thing I think is interesting is the fact that it has radioactive buffs as well on this. So I'm wondering if at some point in time they're going to be coming out with a radioactive weapon that we can put on these to also do the targets with.
Well, it would make sense that your escalation weapon would be a radioactive weapon, because then you can use your new Loader 4, which has got both a radioactive load buff and a ballistic load buff.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Overall, though, I personally think going forward, this will be a fun and interesting hull to play with myself.
It'll just still be punitive in repair.
Yeah. Although, however, make sure you get that dock fully upgraded, because these things are heavy. And as you can see, I snagged a little nice picture of Weird Al Yankovic from his I'm Fat video to go with this slide. just because, hey, how often do you get to use a picture like that in a slide? We got the peak accelerator cannon.
Well, this is going to be the first tier 7 weapon in the game. So it's a siege hull class, and it is a cannon, a ballistic cannon. Now this is going to be really heavy at 950 tons. It has a projectile speed of 360. It does have splash of 6, an accuracy of 25, a range of 50. The damage on it is 1,600. The reload time is fast at 3 seconds. Wall damage is 10,080 or 10,800. Building damage the same. Now it's got a secondary weapon. It's got a trigger chance of 0.8%. Now the trigger cooldown is 0.5%.
It's 5 seconds.
I've already seen this weapon in action, and at the trigger chance of 0.8%, I say, wow, that's it triggers relatively fast. I've seen it trigger several times in one attack. And so the weapon type's a cannon, damage type's ballistic. It cannot be used, I'm sorry, with remote targeting. So you do want to keep that in mind.
Well, that's the secondary part of it. The original weapon itself, yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The secondary weapon, you cannot. So the secondary weapon has a greater splash of 40, and it has a spread of 200, a range of 50 also. The damage on that is 10,700. The wall damage on that is what, 202,000?
Yeah, 202,337.
So that, I mean, so it's amazing, and it's actually it visually reminds you of the Retribution blue shot. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, to me, it just reminds me of the first pack cannon that they had.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the exact same thing as that.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
That's what's kind of got me wondering about this also, because the original pack cannon, to be honest, in my opinion, it wasn't the power weapon. It was an effect weapon. And it kind of makes me wonder if this is going to be the effect weapon. And then when they come out with the escalation weapon, you know, we all say, yeah, it might be a launcher, but I'm wondering if it might be another cannon that's got some true more power to it.
Well, I don't know. 10,800 seems pretty
pretty powerful for wall damage. But
yeah.
And
siege targets all you're hitting is buildings and walls.
Yeah, I'm just going by history because, I mean, to be honest, didn't the original pack burst do more damage than what this one's doing? Wasn't it like 240,000 building damage with the original pack cannon?
I can't remember off the top. I never actually used the original one, so I don't know.
But you're right on the deal. No, the original wasn't an effect weapon. You just used it for that big boom thing with. And
yeah, it's mentioned in the chat over there that the any kind of splash booster didn't affect the splash part of the pack part of the weapon.
I know I personally, when I build mine and I put my specials on, I'm not going to try to put any specials or anything to try to affect the special ability part. I'm just going to go straight with the normal weapons I would do for regular cannons.
Well, that hull of itself gives off 150% splash to begin with. So it may get the splash on the 6, but it might not be getting the splash on the 40, I think is what they were trying to point out.
Right.
Okay, watching this weapon just in salvages, it gets a pretty good splash just on the regular fire. It's pretty good, pretty neat weapon to watch.
Sweet.
And that one is 30 million points. So it'll take what, like 6 of the new top end targets. Well, 6 and a tad since you don't get the full 5 million. But I don't think that's a terrible price as long as you're able to do those targets. They got the Mass Augmentation Nexus.
Okay, I guess this is the special for that cannon. Ballistics, it's the, I guess all the weapons have been getting this critical damage booster. And this finally we get the ballistic one. That gives you 10% critical chance and 100% critical damage with the 40% splash. So again, here splash is coming into play. I figure if you use this right here, you would not be allowed to use the nuclear accelerator too.
Correct. They do not stack.
But if I'm not mistaken, I did hear that the autoloader 4, and it does have splash with it, and it is able to stack with this. I haven't tested it myself yet, but it's allowing one special with splash to mix with this and not another. Would be my point.
Does autoloader have splash? Autoloader 4 have splash? I don't know. I never won it because I didn't bother with the campaign.
Let's go look. But I was hearing that it did match with one set of splash, but not another. So if you're looking for that, look around. There's a chance that, you know, it could, you might find something to work with it, just not the exact item you was wanting to work with it.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird that that Nuke Accelerator 2 wouldn't work with it, but you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we do got to do what they say does and doesn't work with it. Yeah. So
cannon system does have 35% splash on it.
Okay, so it was cannon system, not autoloader then.
Yeah, the cannon system 4, the one that does ballistic range and damage.
Gotcha. And then this special will be 15 million points, so just a little bit over 3 of the new targets. And the Omni Behemoth.
Yep, the new countermeasure hull, the new Gamma. This is a decent hull. I mean, it comes out with 500,000 armor points, like the old Vanquisher did. But this one, you actually got deflections with it. So everything looks really good on this, except it's got the low penetrative deflection. So you might be mindful of that when you're building it. This thing has no offensive attributes, really. It's totally all countermeasure. There's no ballistic range, no ballistic damage, penetrating, or anything like this on this hull inherent. But it gives you all your some good countermeasure buffs. Reload and ranges on countermeasures and anti-missiles and anti-mortars, and then the accuracies. Not as good as the Gamma, but still 40% accuracy is pretty decent.
Yeah, they just refuse to make any countermeasure hull as good as what the Gamma was anymore.
Yeah, you're not going to get it. I haven't never seen 150% accuracy on any other hull in the game.
Yeah,
for countermeasures. Now this thing has some pretty nifty in your base effects here. For a range of 195, it will give minus 35% combat speed, minus 50% projectile speed, and a minus 35% turning speed. That's a pretty good range of effect for to have them traveling through your channel where they can't even touch you. And then you get the same sonar that a UTT transformer has. With all the extra special slots on this, don't see why you wouldn't put a Sonic 4 on there. Give yourself another 80 range on top of that sonar. You'll be able to see further than thermal.
Yeah, what we were tinkering with it last night, and what did we get? We got sonar up to 506, I think it was.
470. Oh yeah, 506 if you added that other.
Oh yeah, the P armor's on there.
Yeah. So I mean, it could really get out there and be able to see stuff coming through, which is a good thing. You know, all you can get for your defense hull is good. Now, the one thing this does is that also for other defensive hulls, it will give a 35% damage to almost all weapon types. Now, it had another ability down. Oh, it gives 5,000 deflection It's straight up ship deflection. So that'll cover any weapon type that your other defenders would be getting shot at by an extra 5,000 ship deflection from this hull being in there. But it only works on your defender hulls. It won't work on the conqueror hull if you have it in there defending your base.
I know I myself will definitely be building one of these, if nothing else, just for the countermeasure ability, because I always like having a countermeasure hull in stock and ready to go.
Yeah, this would replace my Gamma for sure. Could possibly even work in good tandem with the Gamma, depending on how much defense you wanted in your fleet for your base guard.
Does have a kind of big price tag with it, though. It is 60 million points.
Yeah. That's not unheard of, though.
Yeah, especially for a flag.
Yeah. So we'll get into some other prices later. There's a price in there that I totally don't agree with, but this one I do because it is the brand new ship. It is its first time out, and it is a flagship. So I think it's a good ship all around.
Well, I would agree. We got new charged armor. Vlad, wake up.
Oh, sorry. Guys were talking about the behemoth, and I'd heard enough because, well, I haven't had a guard fleet in a long time. Charged armor Zentonite. This is it's only good on siege and generalist hulls. It is a tier 7 armor, weighs 125 tons. And ship deflection 20, structure deflection 20. It will, it's for ballistic, and your armor pool is 763,000. It will reduce up to 120,000 per shot, and the ballistic defense of plus 18%, and it is 12 million a copy, which is just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that's pretty average, though. That's what.
Well, it was ridiculous when the others were 12 million.
Yeah. One thing that scares me about this armor is that ballistic damage reduction number. 120,000. If it's able to hit that hard, this pool's not going to last very long.
7 shots.
But that just makes me leery of what kind of weapons are going to be shooting at me that are causing that kind of damage.
I mean, of course, that pool also builds with however many other panels that you put on it. So you're not always just going to have that 763. You know, if I put 3 panels on there, suddenly I got 21,000. You know, so
yeah, it's just still really scary looking. Plus, this doesn't have a minimum damage.
That was the one thing I noticed. Is like I kind of like to know what kind of minimum damage I'm going to be taking when it gets through all this, and they didn't tell us that this time.
Yeah. So the numbers there just make me feel a little like things are going to be very punitive.
Yeah.
Coming forward, it's just what it makes me feel.
So those are all the new main ones. All right, now we got the regular prize list. I'm going to be like the guy from the Micro Machine commercial here going. Okay, you can get regular Fangtooths for 10 million. You can get regular Hunters for 6 million. Phoenixes for 6 million. Skyfire Carriers for 4 million. Icebreakers for 2 million. Monoliths for 1,500,000. Ironclads for 1,500,000. Cannoneers for 2 million. Hellrace for 1,750,000. Tideseekers for 1 million. You also got the PvE flags. You can get the Phantom Fangtooth for 20 million. You can get the Apex Hunter for 15 million. The Gutspill Phoenix for 10 million. You can get the Gutspill Skyfire Carrier for 10 million. You can get the Visago Icebreaker for 5 million. Gridiron's Monolith for 5 million. Phantom Hellwraith for 4 million. Harlock's Tideseeker for 4 million, Harlock's Ironclad for 3 million, and Harlock's Cannoneer for 3 million. Harlock has an awful lot of ships, man. How does he drive all of them at the same time?
It must be his fleet.
Then you got your PvE components. You got your new charged armor, the ballistic one for 12 million pop, and you can get 10 of them. You got the the concussive one, and that's 4 million a pop. You can get 10 of them. You got the corrosive one, that's 3.5 million a pop. You can get 10 of them. You got the explosive one, that's 3 million a pop, and you can get 10. And you got the missile one for 3 million, and you can get 10 of those as well. You also got the Delirium Torpedo for 6 million, Torpedo Tubes for 3 million, Talon Missiles for 4 million, Carbon Fiber Casing for 2 million, Siege Rocket D100S for 1.5 million. You got Garrison Battery for 1 million. You got Combat Mortar for 1 million. You got Precision Napalm Detonator for 750,000. Speed Upgrade for 2 million. Charon Torpedoes for 1 million. Garwood Gatling Guns for 1,250,000. Mimicus System for 1.5 million. Concussive Upgrade for 2 million. Millennium Gun for 1,250,000. And Zithonite Armor D5R for 2.5 million. What's next? Because there's more. Believe me, there's more. You got your D5X armor, you got your D5CT armor, you got your D5M armor, your D5CO armor, your D5E armor. You got your evade upgrade, agility system 3, blade missiles, interception system, switchblades, counter missile extenders, Zithonite armor, the slow one, crap. Gale defense system 3s. I was happy to see those back because I'm starting to run out. Hydraulic resistors, Cobra scatter guns, fire twister torps, sealed fire charge. And of course, you can see I'm going to kind of stop going on prices on some of this stuff because we're in the lower tier stuff, and you can find all these prices in the game and in the raid prize list. PvP hulls. Boy, this first one's a little bit of a sore spot with me, buddy. The Hope is available in the raid already. Yeah, 20 million points. You can redeem 2 of them. I do believe that your total limit you can have is now up to 4, though. We'll go into a little bit more of why this is a sore spot for me on the very last slide that we have. King's Writ you can get for only 5 million points, and you can redeem up to 5 of them. Wow, that's a great price for this hull, buddy. You know, it's like go out, hit one target, and you get a King's Writ. You can do it 5 times. Yeah, that's great hull. Twin Blades, you can get up to, what is that, 5 of them? Yeah, for 4 million points. Brennus. Brennus is 50 million points still. I'm not sure what's up with that. But it is what it is. The Raina's Rage, you can get for 20 million points. Vasago's Pride, you can get for 10 million. Regular Rages are 6. Prides are 4. Sloths are 5. Gluttonies are 3. Justice is 2. And the Courage is 3. And you can get 4 Courages. Anybody have anything they want to say on those hulls?
Well, it's kind of strange that the Brennus is 50 million. If I'm not mistaken, during the bounty, the Brennus was 10,000.
Right.
And the King's Writ 15,000.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
now it's like you can get 5 of them for less than you're going to pay for that one Brennus.
yeah.
It like really blows me away. It's like, you know, I can get 5 of those ships for half the cost of that one. When you just had the prices, this was in bounty, it was 5,000 cheaper than the Writ. It don't make a lot of sense. And I mean, 50 million points. Wasn't this thing just 10 million in a raid not long back? If I'm not mistaken.
It certainly wasn't 50. It wasn't 50. I mean,
yeah,
it probably wasn't 50, but I don't think it was 10. I don't think.
Okay. I don't remember.
I could go look up the past raids, but I don't have that kind of time at the moment.
but in their defense, it might not be 50. That could just be a display issue.
Well, checking game, I guess.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's a graphical error.
I didn't check in game, so I don't know.
I don't know. When it comes to the PvP hulls, my personal opinion is unless it says Hope King's Writ, unless it says Hope or King's Writ, don't buy it. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I don't know. It depends on
Ross, you're the big PvP guy, Ross. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well,
if you didn't have at least 3 million, is not bad.
if you have the ability to get the the Hope or King's Writ, then I would use those and build those. If not, then I guess if you don't have the ability to get them, then I go for the lower. But they're pretty much similar to the same price ranges as all the other hulls, and their use and validity in the game is not matched in the other hulls. So yeah, I would say King's Writ and Hope, or don't build it.
I think too, now that we have the ability to have 5 King's Writs, I think you're going to see a lot more actual King's Writ fleets as opposed to, you know, a King's Writ tank or two being blocked up by sloths.
Yeah.
You're
going
gonna
to still have a bus in there for the extra concussive, but I could see 4 Writs coming in and concussive style and doing a good number on your base.
Yeah, they're actually going to be built as just fully offensive ships, and because I've seen before, like, you know, some people will have like one build as a tank and one build as an offensive ship, and when you build those things as an offensive ship, they can rip through some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
our concussive defense ability on the base is kind of dick right now.
Yeah.
Got one armor that does 60 deflection. That's it for concussive. We don't have any defense.
Moving on with the list. Liberators, you can get 10 of them for 1,000,000 points speed. Suppressors, 1,000,000 points for 10. Survivor, 1,000,000 points for 10. Inquisitor, 1,000,000 points for 10. Incinerator, 1,000,000 points for 10. Revenge is 1,250,000. Same for the Vendetta, the Fury, the Spite, and the Malice. I personally, I still like spites to this day. I still keep one spite in stock sometimes because I just think some of the abilities it has is really good. You never know what.
I gotta say that the Inquisitor with the that scatter gun on it is a fun hull.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with that. I know in Bounty when I was doing the 86s, I was going with one Inquisitor with Sin scatterguns on it, and that would go through and do an entire bounty target for like 5 minutes, 1 second damage, because it kept pissing me off because it was just enough that I couldn't instant repair on the map, and I was like,
yeah, but you know, and that's one ship, and we're looking at 1,000,000 points. So that, you know, that in all honesty, that's a good little million if you don't have that hull.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one. Let's see. We also got the Retribution, the Alpha Behemoth, and the Valiant, and the Vanquisher, and the Zoe's Vendetta, which all also come in at that 1,250,000 mark. Then you got the Harlock's Revenge, the Harlock Alpha Behemoth, the Zoe's Retribution, and the Ferox's Fury. That you can redeem one of each of those for 2,000,000 points apiece. Okay, that's it for the hulls. Now we go into the PvP components. You got the flail rockets for 15 million. You got the flanged warheads for 10 million. You got the Excalibur Gatling gun, which is for your King's Writ. That's at 10 million. You got the vulcanized barrels at 8 million. Advanced guidance system for 500,000. Scoria missiles for 750,000. The hydroxide injector for 500,000, the conflagration scattergun for 750,000, and the concussive Gatling gun way back from when the Revenges first came out is 750,000. You got strike warheads 500K, coaxial firestorm 750K, resonance capacitor 500K, thermonuclear launcher 750K. Same for the cyclone launcher and the calamity scattergun. Emission generators, I like that special. It's only 500,000 this time around. Compressed corrosive canisters are 500K. Ruin scatterguns 2 million. And their firing aperture. Amazing special. If you do not have it, get this one for 1.5 million points. You also got torpid mortars, inventorated explosives, which I myself have started using innervated explosives a lot. Clipper missile, radon slinger, radon breeder, fission fuel nodes, after racer foils, deep sea countermeasures, subaquatic propellant, polonium accelerator, insurrection launcher, viscosity regulator, and hedgehog mortar. Is that it for the PvP components? It is. Now we're on to turrets. As per the past couple raids, you can get the Epic Cataclysm Mortar, the Elite Countermeasure Mortar, the Cannibal Wendigo. All of those are now down to 3 million points apiece. You can redeem up to 5, but your cap is still at 5. You can get Cataclysm Mortars for 2 million, a Glacial Launcher Turret for 2 million, Drac Coax Turret for 2 million, and Anti-Rocketeer 4 for 4 million. Shane says that works pretty good. I've never built one, so I can't say.
Works
I like
well.
mine.
What's that?
So I liked mine. I still have one in my base. It works. It's pretty strong. What it does do is it stops those Rocketeers, because once they realize that you have one in your base, they quit bothering with rockets at all.
Sure helps if you're one that gets your dock rocketed a lot. It puts a stop to that stuff.
I got one right by my dock, by the way.
Yeah. The 4 works well. I've not really ever heard any good things about the 3. I've been told it's total shit. It don't really work that well, but I hardly ever see my Anti-Rocketeer 4 miss. It shoots them pretty often all the time.
I think without a doubt, though, the top 2 recommended turrets on this page are the Epic Cat Morts and the Elite Countermeasures. I think without a doubt, those are the top 2 recommended.
Don't overlook the Glacial if you don't have it. That is still a very effective weapon.
It is currently. I just wonder for how much longer, though. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't use it for damage. It's for its effect. It does the minus reload, minus combat speed, minus turning, and it's got good range.
The Glacial is still good. I just think the top 2 priorities.
Damaging targets, yeah, do the Epic for your damage and the Anti-Rocketeer for your defense, for sure. Those are definitely
and the countermeasure turret to stop a lot of those.
Yeah,
that are coming from the
that
boss.
is the new countermeasure turret is very good. And one thing that people don't need to overlook, that thing does have splash on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Splash bonuses to help your countermeasure work even better.
And the second page of turrets, we also, for 1.5 million each, have the Venom Spitter, the Phlogiston Launcher, the Emancipator Turret, the Axiom Chain Gun, the Explosive Turret, D99S, and the Hyena Missile Turret. I would probably, myself, Emancipators for sure. If you do not have Emancipators, get Emancipators because they're still really good. Probably Axiom Chain Gun is still not that bad. It's a good. Yeah, it'll stop a lot of some of the older hulls like Rages. Rages don't like it. So, but those are my recommendations on that page. And then we have the turret-based specials: Chromium Overlay. You got Explosive Overlay, Concussive Dampening Overlay, Splash Dispersion System 2, Eruption Pyre, and Zithium Shells. Cadmium Solar Panels, Solar Reinforcements. Permacrete, I don't really recommend anybody getting that anymore because all it does is just adds raw armor points, and our stuff's so high anymore that's just a waste of base power, in my opinion.
Nothing compared to the points you have on the turret innate.
You got your range of Zithium reinforcements, your ballistic one, your missile one, your explosive one, and your radiation one. You got your SSKP missile enhancer thing, your fuel tank, O1X, your concussive belt, your radium reserves, sulfide deployer, ballistic recoil suppressor, EM rails, 3 depleted uranium shells, 3 lead panels, 3 smart warheads, fire support platform M, countermeasure targeting, and frontline platforms EU. Which some of those platforms, it kind of surprises me that they're in the raid since you can still get them out of Drac uranium bases. As far as I know,
regular Draco bases. The platform M is in the regular Draco base. But don't miss out on the eruption pyre. Really keen with that 160% reload rate for your mortars.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Then we got tokens and resources. You got 10 1-hour ship build tokens. You got 4 12 hours, and you got 3 1 days. That's all pretty standard. You can buy 500,000 base parts for the low cost of 2 million raid points, and you can do that up to 20 times. You can buy 10,000 titanium for the low price of 2 million raid points, and you can do that up to 20 times. And you can buy 10,000 uranium for 1.5 million 5 times. I don't want to go into that anymore because we're already at time, and I think we've already had enough negativity in this show already. Skirmish class tokens. I really like these. You can get the VXP ones. I'm not all that excited about. You can get them for 1.5 million for the medium ones. So you can get 10 of them. The skirmish class build tokens though, you can get for 3 million a piece. You can get up to 10 of them. I really like those because even if I have to sit on them for a year when the next skirmish fleet runs around, assuming we still have a game, that'll save me a whole lot of time on my next skirmish fleet I have to build. So that's definitely a long-term looking down the road planning on my part. But with a little luck, we'll make it there. Then you also have your Monolith one-day token that you can get 10 of. Your Monolith VXP medium token you get 10 of. Icebreaker one-day tokens 10 of. Icebreaker EXP tokens 10 of. Cannoneer one-day build tokens. Ironclad one-day build tokens. And Cannoneer and Ironclad VXP tokens 10 of all of those. Structure build tokens. What's quickly becoming one of my favorites to grab every raid. You can get 48-hour ones for 4 million points a piece, and you can get 5 of them. So that's 20 days off of whatever you're happen to be building.
10 days.
Oh yeah. You're right. My bad. I got a little too excited there for a minute. You got your medium hope VXP tokens for 2 million. You can get 20 of those. That's quite a few, but those defender hulls do take a lot of VXP. So you can get your hope one-day build tokens for 3 million, and you can get 5 of those. And then you can trim 5 days off your Omni Behemoth for 15 million total for all of those. King's Rent tokens you can get for 2 million points for 1 days off those. And you can get VXP tokens for 2.5 million. Okay. Shards. Yeah, whatever, shards. They're there. They're in the raid. Go look. You can buy them if you want them.
Same as what's been for quite a while now.
Yeah. That's all I'd say about shards.
You get 50 on the KDs and 20 on the rest.
So the redeem limit of the hope was improperly listed on their release notes at 4 and has been corrected to 2. The limit for the number of hope hulls you can build has been increased to 4. While it's not our normal intent to distribute bounty rewards so quickly throughout other events, with the hope we felt it was good to allow more players access to this hull. Specifically since it is the last of the Tier 6 Defender hulls, and we wanted to re-offer it before Tier 7 Conquerors are making their debut in January. Well, you know what, guys? No matter how you spin this, it irritated the hell out of me. I spent a lot of time in that bounty. More time than I'd never have ever spent in any other bounty because I thought the Hope was a really good hull and I wanted to try to get it. And it really irritates me that I could have waited a week and got in the raid. So pretty much, I can't speak for anybody else, but this has guaranteed that I will never, ever, ever grind out another bounty the way I did this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty good kick in the teeth. It's for people who took the Hope instead of other things as well. Like I didn't see were the concussive armors that were offered in the bounty, were they offered in this raid?
No.
Okay,
that's
a decision that people could have made if they knew that this was a possibility of the Hope and weapon and specials being in this raid, as opposed to getting other things that from bounty that were not going to be in this raid. I think it is a really hard. I didn't get the Hope. I'll get it in the raid here, but I still don't agree with it because it's a really kick in the teeth to everybody who worked so hard during the bounty.